So guys, welcome to mine and Ginny's first ever BE100. We are at Askham Bryan today. It's a very foggy, very early morning. We've got a 8:30 dressage, but luckily Askham Bryan's only about 45 minutes from us. So although it was a 5 a.m. start, it wasn't a 5 a.m. set off, which is nice. It was a 6:20 set off. But yeah, Gin is looking super duper smart and ready for her exciting morning, aren't you, Gingins? It is seriously foggy, guys. I'm really hoping the fog lifts, because yeah, this is not the most ideal of viewing conditions, is it, Gingins? But hopefully it will lift. So I'm going to get on her for 8:10, so she's got a 20-minute warm-up. So I'm going to start getting ready. I've put her studs in. We've gone for some slightly different studs today, slightly bigger, because it is a bit wetter and it is a bit boggier than what we're used to. We've ran on hard ground all season and it's finally softening up. But yeah, I'm going to get her ready in a second and get cracking. So I can't lie, I was very nervous this morning. It's been a while since I've pushed myself out of my comfort zone. We've ran at 90 all season, and taking the decision to step up to 100 was a big one for me. And I'm going to explain why I've made that decision, because I kind of think if you look at our record, yes, we've had some really good events, we've had some double clears and things like that, but we haven't been the most consistent at 90. And I think a lot of people might look at that and think, well, why don't you want to be in like first place every time, or like top 10 every time before you start stepping up? And that for us wasn't the aim. So I've spoken with my BE coaches extensively, and every single person said the same. You know, Nikki, who knows Gin the best, has said the same. All my other coaches said the same, that Gin is really not a 90 horse. She jumps and performs much better at a bigger height, and mainly because she actually starts putting some effort in. So at 90 this season, we have been consistently too fast in our cross country. So we're hoping that stepping up to 100 will just mean that we're having a little bit less of a fight around the course for me to really slow her down, and that she's using herself a little bit better. Now, I did not want to step up to 100 until I felt myself confident and experienced enough at 90, and I definitely feel after a full season of running at 90 that I'm now, you know, confidently will walk a 90 course. There's nothing that a 90's thrown at me this season that I've thought, no, I can't do that. And Gin has actually been show jumping at a metre since, I think we did our first show jumping at a metre in like February or March this season, so she's very happy at that level. That is actually where my nerves are. It's not the cross country. You know, I walk a novice track and think, yeah, I'd give that a go on Gin. It's actually the show jumping I'm most nervous for today. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I also thought stepping up to 100 before Bicton would be really good practice and a really good confidence boost for me, because we are going to Bicton, our first 3-day event, in 2 weeks' time, and it is going to be one of the most challenging 90s I've ever done. It's going to be a championship course, so I just thought this will set us up perfectly for that. Oh, don't go off. Do you want a hand? There we go. Good girl, Jim Wees. Says, oh, quick escape before dressage. Yeah, you undo it, otherwise there's no point putting her ears on first. You are just so beautiful, Miss Ginny. Nice autumnal morning suit her. Oh, she says that bit's a little bit cold. I have tried to warm it up, my love. It's so fiddly with her ears. So, of course, with our first BE100 comes our first BE100 test. So today we are actually doing BE108. Can't say there's a huge amount of difference between the 90 and the 100 test. I am a little bit nervous that they may mark them more harshly. I'm assuming they will do as you go up the levels. And obviously we've only just started getting half decent dressage scores, so it would be nice to keep it in the mid-30s, please, Gins. No 40s today, because obviously Gin used to find dressage extremely stressful. She's a very hot horse to ride, and going into the boards, she always really struggled, especially at the start of the season, with focus, and she just finds dressage a little bit stressful, because she's not got anything to focus on in her mind. And I think because obviously at 90 you're doing a very simplified dressage test, compared to BD and things, and so the more simple something is, the more stressed Jin can be, because she's focusing on everything else around her and not what I'm asking her for. If I was going in there and asking her to do some really hard work, she'd have to focus on that. But because she's like, I'm cantering around and doing a 20-metre circle. Not that I'm saying it's easy to get a good test at BE90. It's not, trust me. Have we got a sub 30 this season? No, we have not. But the movements in themselves are pretty easy, if that makes sense. But anyway, I will stop rambling. Here is our warm-up. Jin warmed up beautifully this morning, and I was really, really pleased with her. I can't lie, I went in there originally a little bit half switched off. It was an early one, guys, but she warmed up really nicely. She was listening to me. She was quite supple. We could have done with a little bit more leg here, which is why as soon as she's a little bit lazy, we get the head noddiness. Jin's an odd one. She's either all go or can't be bothered, and she's very much like an on or off horse. So as soon as she starts switching off a little bit, which is where we get those little ginger tendencies of her being a bit nappy and things. So before I go in, I always make sure that I'm asking for medium trots and things, just to really switch her on and get her in front of my leg. I must admit though, coming into the 100, I said to Jade, I feel like we're very much in the big boy class now. All the horses around me were horses. They were all hunter types. There suddenly weren't any little ponies, and yeah, I felt like I had a bit of imposter syndrome warming up. I can't lie. I was like, I'm in with the big boys now, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, because these all seem to know what they're doing. And I also knew a couple of 5-star riders were there today and things, and actually one of the 5-star riders that coaches me and has coached me recently was there, and she was near my time, and I was like, this is all very anxiety. I was like, this is all making me a little bit nervous, but you know what? You've just got to go and own it, because we have worked flipping hard this season to be where we are. And yeah, I'm so proud of how much Ginny has improved this season, especially in the dressage. We have worked so hard, and also just in her strength and in her ability. When she first came to me, she'd had quite a bit of time out from actually eventing, and so obviously she didn't have the strength, and there's not a chance this mare could have gone in at sort of novice levels of what she's done previously. It has taken me a full season to get her strong enough to do 100 as well. So I'm really proud of myself for getting her ready for this, and for building the partnership that we now trust each other enough to be at this level. Even though, yes, I did feel a little bit of imposter syndrome, especially in the warm-up, do you know what? We do deserve to be here. This is where we belong. And yeah, I'm just so excited for you to see the rest of what happens today. So that's enough warming up and trotting around in circles and looking pretty. Let's get on with the actual test. So here we go, our first BE100, guys. I'm so excited. And of course, it would not be an entrance without Ginny doing at least a little bit of a poo around the arena. But look at her, she's forward, she's listening. Yes, we've got a little bit of a waggle. Could have done with a little bit more forwardness. Honestly, if I could carry a whip at BE, my dressage test would be so much better. And that is my mission for winter. Get her a little bit more off my leg for the dressage. Not as off my leg for everything else, but for dressage, yes, please. Did my big sweep into A, which I'm very proud of. I now actually ride that better. And obviously enter A, proceed down the centre line without halting, and we are tracking left at C.
And I thought, not a bad entrance for Ginny. Sometimes she can go a bit behind my leg. We've got a 6 and a comment of varying contact, which is absolutely fair enough. She's kind of working me out at this point. Did our trots round to E, got a 7 for that. Very happy with that. And then into our first 15-metre circle. Obviously at 90 this would have been a 20, so I was very happy that we got no comments about our accuracy today. Just a comment that she needed a bit more suppleness, and I completely agree. Suppleness is not Ginny's strength, and again something we'll be working on all winter. On to our second 15-metre circle, which felt better to me. But we got another score of 6 for that one as well, with a comment of needs more body bend, which I completely agree with. She just likes to bend through her shoulders. And then anyway, trotting round, and we're going to go into our first canter, and then canter all the way round to E. Now, Ginny can do a slightly better upwards transition than that, but we still got a 7, so I was really happy with that. Into our 20-metre diameter in our canter, and again I think Gin was just a little bit like, ugh, can't really be bothered. And then when I put my leg on, she always stiffens a little bit, so we did get a 6 for that, which I think is a fair comment. As you can see, she decided, I'm just going to drift on the shoulder there. But a 7 for our downwards transitions. We do tend to get good marks for our transitions, apart from this medium walk where she died slightly. And then it's on to our free walk. Now Gin does a lovely stretch. She's like, you want me to stick my head down there, Mum? Not a problem. Here you go. But will she actually cover some ground? No. So that was the only comment. Nice stretch at first. Needs more ground cover. I know we need to get her marching in this free walk. And again, dressage is coming in winter, guys. Up to K, where we continue our medium walk. So we did get a 6.5 for that, which I think is fair. And then this bit I was nervous about, because if you guys know Ginny, she doesn't always halt the best, and having a halt with a 4-second hold, I was a bit like, But would you believe it was actually our best score of the entire test? She got an 8 for that, with the comment of pleasing halt, and I was very, very pleased with her. So then into our upward transitions, and I thought that was very obedient. She did a really nice upward transition. Could have been a little bit more forward in the trot if I'm being pernickety, but we got 7s, happy with that. Into our working canter, I went for a very early canter there, only just at M Georgia, maybe wait a little bit, but I was really happy again with her canter work around there. I thought she seemed really balanced, so we did get 7 for that. And then on to a 20-metre circle, not so much balance here, no. And then here certainly, which is like, no, I'm not going to do that. So we did get a 6 for that. To be fair, I thought that was quite a generous 6. With the comment of balance on shoulder, hocks out, yeah, completely. But into our down transition of trot, and then trotting down our centre line, really happy with this. Did feel a little bit sticky getting to X, but again, she gave me a beautiful halt. And you'll notice that there's not much immobility before my salute, because I'm like quickly before she moves. So yeah, a really pleasing test. A lot of 7s, some 6s for suppleness, but all of that we are going to work on over Christmas and over winter. But yeah, really, really pleased for our first BE100 test. Obviously not sure how harsh the marking was. All I knew is that she gave me a really good ride. She felt a lot more relaxed. We had a few moments where she did die off my leg. We also had a few moments where I didn't realise what the horse next to us, not the one that you can see, but there's another arena before us, Arena 1, was having a bit of a rodeo fit, which Jay told me afterwards. So that was good that Ginny didn't react to that, and a big improvement for her. But yeah, that's our first BE100 test.
So guys, just out of dressage, just untacked Gin, and she's having some hay. I'm so proud of that test. She felt really nice and calm, didn't have any craziness. I think the only things I can say are that she died on me a little bit when she first went in, and then she did slip on the first 20-metre canter circle slightly. So that just meant we weren't quite as accurate with our first circle. The second one felt amazing, so hopefully that's reflected in the scores. But I was really proud of her. Just a completely different horse in the boards these days. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it, to be honest. I actually enjoying coming out and doing dressage now, which we were not doing for the majority of this season, but I just think she's mega. Predictions. What we're predicting, Jade? I think it might be a 30 point. You're getting 31?
Yeah.
I feel like it might be another 30.5, something like that. Because she didn't go wrong, but I don't know, I just feel like they're going to be a bit harsher than they were at Kelsall for some reason. I don't know. I'll be happy if it's around 30, because I think she tried really hard there. Good girl. Right, so now I'm going to quickly get changed. I'm going to walk the course again, the cross country, just so I'm 1000% sure on my lines, because we've got an hour before show jumping. I've walked the show jumping, I'll have another look at show jumping. But yeah, ready for the next phase. Lovely fence one that's actually shared with the 90, so nothing too scary for my first one. So you've got quite a long run before fence 2, which I don't love, and I don't love the fact that it's quite so large. Yeah, the fact that the second fence is shared with the novice is mean, and it is pretty big, but it's very upright. It's quite inviting, really. It's just set back from the hedgerow, so it is in shadow at the minute, but it'll be fine. Hopefully the sun's up a little bit more by the time we get to this later, but this is fence 3. The hay rack, which is a fair size, and then onto fence 4. Just got to make sure she doesn't drift out of either shoulder into this, because this is quite a upright palisade. Again, the sun is not helpful, but 5 is a pretty decent table. Again, don't know what I was expecting, you know, doing 100, that they were going to be tiny or anything, but she's pretty big. And then down to 6, which is a nice house. I want a forward upright canter into this, but not long, because I don't know if you can see it, but part B is the water, which has got a drop into it. But if I have enough control to slow gin, my flag, if you look, has a run through as well. So my plan is actually to come down here and just basically trot through, because I've not really done much jumping into water. It's not a big drop, but I think she might question it, and I just don't want her to take a step back at it and it be classed as a refusal, so I'm going to go round. Fence 7, which you probably can't see, is a lovely let up fence. So then on to 8, which is really nice actually. It's got a nice ground line. And then fence 9 for us is this step up, which is nice and small, onto a slightly skinnier palisade, which is a little bit bigger, so you need to really get a bit of oomph before we get to this, and I need to aim right because C is in the novice and we don't want to be doing that. So fence 10, I really need to give myself a wide swing to, because it's quite skinny and it's coming slightly off hill, so Gin needs enough time to really know that this is what we're aiming for. It's quite big actually, this one, but it is a brush fence, but she won't push through it. She'll probably jump over it, but there we go. And then next up we have a drop, so we're just going to steady up into this, aim right, and then down and over this. So I know here I should have just less than 2 minutes left. If I've got 2 minutes plus, I'm going to trot her down here, because we've got to go between the novice corner and the ditch. So just want to make sure that we get her through here nicely. And then I can re-pick up my canter here and have a really nice strong canter put into fence 12, which is a nice roll top. Again, shared with the 90. Okay, so on to fence 13. I'm going to aim slightly left of, So these guys are just walking to the corner, which is a really nice corner. And if we get the line right, this will jump very nicely. So 15 is a really nice combination. It's very straight. I just have to ride this straight. So still up right here. A very small ditch really for Gingin. And then onto this brush that gives the appearance of a corner, but it's not. So it's just very upright. So onto the penultimate fence, which is a house, and we should have about 30 seconds left when we're going over this. And then our last fence, which is really lovely. There we go. And right to the finish. So Miss Gingin is, oh, I don't want that one. Cancel. Okay. So Miss Gingin's ready for show jumping, but we just got to wait a little bit longer because we've only got 20 minutes at the minute, and 20 minutes is too long for us to be in a warm up for show jumping. Isn't it, Ginmeister? Doesn't sound like many people have gone clear yet, but we are early days.
Not gonna lie, Jin was not happy about that portaloo, and neither was I. I'm sorry, who decides to put the portaloos in line with the show jumps? There's an entire warm-up. Why is the portaloo literally next to the show jumps? Yeah, that didn't really make much sense to me, and it made no sense to Ginny either, because she was like, there's monsters in there, and you want me to jump right next to them? I was like, yes. But if you can jump next to those, I suppose at least you shouldn't spook in the actual ring. Who knows? Anyway, can't lie, was feeling pretty sick at this point. I don't know what it is, like, I never ever get nervous for my cross country really, but show jumping, don't talk to me before I've gone in, because honestly, I might vomit on you. Who knows? And I'll probably vomit on you on the way out as well, which I almost actually nearly did at Buckminster once. I was so nervous for the show jumping at Buckminster that when one of the stewards let me out, I genuinely was nearly sick on them. Which I'm really sorry if you don't do well with sick, but I'm leaving this in because it's the truth, and I'm all about being honest. And on that note of honesty, I was revving Ginny up in this warm-up, and I knew I was because I was nervous, and I was like, do you know what? If you're just really peppy and really underneath me and really wanting to jump, then I'll feel better about it. There's just something about her pulling me into fences that makes me feel so much more confident about jumping them, which obviously I want her in front of my leg, I want her there, but I don't think I needed to add quite the amount of pep that we had. But anyway, do you know what? We live and we learn. It's my first 100, and I know I'll be a lot less nervous for my next show jumping 100, hopefully. But yeah, she was on springs. My God, I just love this horse. Like, look at her. She's like, Mum, I'll just add a little mini stride here because you've clearly not seen that. She's such a good girl. I absolutely adore this mare. Okay, so it's big girl pants time. It's time to feel brave and just go for it. And I cannot lie, I did not see one single rider go clear around this course before I went in, and that was not helping my anxiety. But we came out, we had a good canter, we got to that first fence, and my goodness, I just love this mare. Like, she's so cool, because even when I'm not on top form, she's just like, do you know what, Mum? Sit back, I got this. And she came out feeling great. She came out jumping wild. I was like, okay, I know we're clearing these. I just need to not get too fast. Not get too fast, Georgia. Okay? What's happening? Oh yeah, Georgia's getting faster and faster as the round goes on. Yeah, bad habits creeped in today, guys. I cannot lie. And I really, really tried to consciously not allow that. Like, down here into this double, I was like, steady, steady, and then I was like, oh no, there's no steady, just handbrake turn it, which not helpful at all, Georgia, and that I entirely deserve that pole for handbrake turning my horse. I do apologise, Gin, you're an absolute superstar and your mother can't ride. And we're into the final double. How are we into the final double already? Like, that was the quickest show jumping round I've ever done, and was it my best? No. Is my horse an absolute saint? Absolutely. Like, I just completely let it get too fast down there and then was like, oh, the jump's there, Jen, we need to go over there. But we did it. We had a couple of poles. It's fine. It's over. On to the best part. Let's not talk about show jumping.
So really happy, to be honest, with that show jumping. I know we had 2 down, but Jin was feeling mega. She was jumping well. We just lost our balance into 7, and then it just got a little bit too fast and too furious, didn't it, Jin? But she jumped the first part really nice. I just need to make sure that I just sit up and just hold her into it a little bit more, because sometimes when I want impulsion, she gives me speed, and that's the thing we're going to be working on all winter, is just those gears within the canter and the trot. I've got something in my eye. But yeah, now we're just getting ready for cross country. It's not started running yet. So normally I come straight on my shoulder pin and we'll just go straight cross country. But we've got a bit more time today, which is probably a good thing for us both to catch our breath. Oh my goodness, what's in my eye? But yeah, just going to go have some fun cross country. Obviously our first 100, so no pressure. Just go, try our best, see how we get on. It's all just experience today, isn't it, Jins? Good girl.
So after what felt like the longest wait in eternity to go and do the warm-up for cross country, honestly, there's nothing worse than waiting. Warm-up waits, waiting to go in, just it makes me, no, I hate it. I hate waiting. Like, I love when you get your times and you're like bam, 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 bam. Honestly, as soon as I have a wait, hate it. Just not good. Anyway, on to the cross country warm up. I was actually feeling really good about cross country. Like, I was so excited to jump this course. I just really, really wanted to get over fence 2. There was such a big run between fence 1 and fence 2, and normally it takes us like 3 or 4 fences to get into our stride, so that was the only thing I was nervous for. Like, I was like, as soon as you're over fence 2, you'll be fine. And I must admit, like, 5 and 8 were big, like, they're big, so I was thinking about that in my warm-up, just thinking, you know, you need to get her nice and balanced and listening. And she actually came out much calmer in the cross-country warm-up than she was in the show jumping. And then I put her at her first fence, and I was like, what are you doing, Ginny? Because she just jumped it like an absolute idiot. And she just wouldn't wait. She was like, no, I want to take off from here. So I did have to have a bit of a word with her. I don't know whether because we got so fast and furious in the show jumping, that she was like, no, I can just take whatever stride I want. Because to be fair, in show jumping, I'm like, yeah, you do you, hon. I'll sit back here and just try and work out where the next fence is. But then I was like, no, we're going into 100. We're going to do this controlled, and we're going to listen to each other. Second fence, so much better. She was actually listening, and I do get into a habit of just letting her run a little bit sometimes. So I was like, just make sure you've got your control, that you can actually bring her back, because let's try and not finish early again this time. That'd be good. And then brought her back in, got her listening. Beautiful, great shot, really pleased. And then brought her around to the biggest in the warm-up. As you can see, she's like, why can't I just gallop round and round? But then got her listening again. We had a little bit of a walk just because she was getting a little bit excited. And then I brought her on to the other rein, and also had a bit of a chat with Alex Postolowski in the warm-up, who I'd actually had a lesson with just before this, so that was nice. It's slightly scary seeing your coach in the warm-up. But yeah, and then brought her into the big one, and this is when I knew we were feeling ready and raring. So here we go, it's time for our first ever 100. Oh my goodness, I genuinely can't believe I'm doing it, guys. I really can't. And she came out and just popped the first fence like an absolute angel. Like, I just had the best feeling coming out of that start box. So I'm going to swap to the videographer of the day so you can see the full course.
table is drawn to cover up. Rod is clear of line. And 357 crosses the finish line, stops the block. He does that, and the Walker 428 and the BE100 open 10
Get on, good girl. Good girl! Good girl! Woo-hoo! Good girl!
Oh my god, guys, I am absolutely ecstatic. She felt incredible around that course. I know we had the little stop and look at the drop. Don't care about that because there were some beefy fences out there and she flew them and gave me the absolute best feeling ever. I just felt with her. I felt like I rode really well. Just after Kelsall, when I finished last, I was so like, I was glad that we'd gone clear of him, but I just didn't feel I rode how I can ride. And today, do you know what? I am flipping proud of myself. Yes, on paper, not the best day, but my God, I am ecstatic to have completed our first 100 and to have felt so good about it and so confident around that course. Like, I was so excited to get to the next fence. I genuinely think it was the best feeling I've ever had around cross country. So, I just love that mare. Jay's just walking off now. We're going to wash her off, ice her legs, and give her all the treats because she was such a star today. Obviously, this is our first time stepping up. There's things for us to learn, but just what a start. What a mare. Oh, what an incredible horse you are. Oh, I'm great. I don't think anyone's been so happy to get 20 penalties in their life. Oh my God. I don't give a shit. You were incredible. You were. She says, "You're crazy, lady." Give that wipe off.
So I've just realised I've not even told you the dressage score. So we actually got 33.5, which watching the text back, it felt like a really good test, but there were definitely moments where we were inconsistent with our suppleness or with her impulsion. So that's something for us to work on over the winter. But before we get on to winter training, I know that the season has now ended for you guys. I have been so slow in getting this edited and up, so I do apologise it's taken me like a month to upload this. But next week, I have got my first 3-day event vlog coming out. We went to Bicton, and I am so excited to share the full experience with you. Obviously, this 100 was a big preparation step for Bicton, and I genuinely cannot believe already how far we've come as a partnership this year. You know, I love this mare. She is the most talented thing ever. She is not an easy ride by any stretch of the imagination. You know, she is very much a fiery chestnut mare, and I'm a fiery chestnut gal, and so there have been moments where as a partnership it's taken us a lot to gel, but I just feel especially today that we have gelled. Like, this 100 just felt like the moment where a lot came together. Yes, it wasn't perfect on paper, and I think especially in the show jumping I could have ridden a lot better, and I let my nerves get the better of me, but I was so proud of myself the way I rode in the dressage and the cross country day. And as always, Jin gave me 100% through absolutely every discipline today, and that is the beauty of eventing. That's why I love it, because it is such a task. It is so difficult. Like, being in the top 10 takes, you know, years to get there for a lot of combinations, and that's not why I come eventing. I come eventing to better myself and to try and better our score each time. And yeah, I had the best day. I had, honestly, when I say I had zero expectations for our first 100, I just wanted to complete, and to have done that, I was just absolutely over the moon. And yeah, just a fantastic day. And I think it's really important to share that sometimes if it doesn't look great on paper, you might have had the absolute best day, and that is genuinely all that matters. You know, we came home safe, we both had an incredible time, and yeah, I'm getting very sloppy now, so I'm going to stop chatting rubbish. But we obviously got Jin sorted, ice booted her, gave her a walk, had our cheesy chips, and then headed home so that she could enjoy the rest of the day in the paddock. But as I say, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, because Bicton is coming soon. I will get that edited for you next week, so be sure to subscribe to check that out. I can't believe we're going to do our first 3-day event. I have just ticked off so many things this season from my bucket list, all thanks to this incredible horse and the incredible team behind me. So yeah, just feeling very, very appreciative at the moment, guys, of you, of getting to do this, of just everything. So thank you so much for coming along this journey with me, of coming and doing our first 100 together. So, so proud of us. And yeah, I will see you for the next one.
So Jin is all washed off. She's had a walk, she's had her legs iced, she's just currently having some grass, and then we're going to pop her back on the box to have some hay, and we're going to go get some food because I'm absolutely starving because I've not actually eaten anything yet this morning, which is very bad, but she was such a good girl. Sweeties for the best girl. Oh, she's a good girl. You're such a good girl. You want to rest? Oh, she's so tired now. So guys, that is us done for the day. Jin is on the box. I'm just gone for a wee before we go home, and then we are heading back to the farm. Just looking at the novice show jumping now, walking past, like, oh, won't be stepping up to that anytime soon, Jesus. But yeah, it's just been an absolutely fantastic day. Really, really good. Really enjoyed it, and it's just so like good for experience and my confidence. And yeah, I really, really wanted to end the season on 100, and to have done it and to have completed and it to have gone well, just so proud of her, so proud of me. Like, I'm walking away today knowing we gave it our all, and that's all I can ever ask for. So yeah, really happy, really looking forward to Bicton now. If you're not already, be sure to follow me on TikTok, because I'm doing a daily countdown to Bicton. I'm uploading daily shorts on YouTube, and we're also doing our training series, so be sure that you'll follow me on here as well, guys, and I will see you soon for the next one.